All this week I am doing a week in the life of a food vendor. I've already gone from Monday through Saturday, so today we're going to be talking about what we do on Sunday. Welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business coach, author of 5 food truck vending books, including Food Truck 101 and Food Truck 201. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. Table Needs welcomes you to listen in as Christian and Tracy, co-owners of Restless Coffee, spill the beans on their debut year in the food truck scene. Uncover the secrets behind their secret menu, how they continually provide stellar customer service, and why building a strong community following is so important. Click the link in the episode description to watch the video for free. Now, Sunday for us is going to be a little bit different than all the other days I've been talking about. First thing that we do on this particular Sunday and all Sundays is we don't open until 9 o'clock. So we get to sleep in a little bit. The reason we did that is our historical records showed that between 7 and 8, we did nothing. We had 5 Sundays in a row. We did absolutely nothing. Sundays are like Saturdays. People sleep in. If they are getting up, they're getting ready to go to church, so they don't get out quite as much. And Melissa and I knew this both from Hardee's and Burger King. Sundays are slow, and we're proving the same thing here in the RV park. So we decided we would cut it back to 9 o'clock. During those 5 weeks, we had nothing between 7 and 8. We only had 2 orders that were before 9 o'clock. That's why we chose 9 o'clock. And what we found on the mornings where we're doing opening at 9 o'clock, we are busy right at 9 o'clock. We are opening very fast. Usually we have 2 to 3 families that step up and order a decent amount of food just in that first 10 or 15 minutes. We have done as much as $150 in the first 30 minutes we've been open. So we're real happy with that because, again, $150 for just me and Melissa with our limited equipment is actually quite impressive. Our Sundays, still the same deals. I'm doing the exact same things I do every other day of the week. I'm still cooking the food, setting up the triple sinks, getting all the equipment turned on. Melissa comes about 15 minutes before we open, sets up her station, and we're ready to go. We open up, again, putting out the flags to tell people, hey, we're open. Open up the window, and we're ready to go. Like I said, most Sundays when I go outside, I am greeted with people already standing there waiting on us. There's been a couple of Sundays where there were so many people, I didn't even bother putting the flags up. I just went right back in and started taking their orders because I wanted to get them all taken care of and fed. There was one Sunday I didn't even get the flags up until we'd been open about 35 minutes. And that was okay because we were busy the whole 35 minutes. So once we get past our initial rush, we usually have a little bit of a lull. And then the lull goes away about 10:15 where we get a little bit of a rush. The local, and what I mean by local is our RV park actually has a small chapel and they hold church services every Sunday. And you will see all the permanent residents are walking up there driving their golf carts. And we see them when they come back. Church usually ends around 10 to 10 to 10 o'clock. And we get a whole bunch of people from that when it does end. So we're running breakfast a little bit later than usual, and that's okay. Or we have some people that come in and want to go ahead and get lunch. And again, that's okay. I don't tell them no. Just tell them it's going to be a little bit more time because I got to heat up that piece of equipment. Once we get past that rush and we're at 11 o'clock, it's going to be pretty slow till about 12:15, 12:30. So what we're doing during those times is getting obviously all the dishes that we've created all through the morning done and caught up. We're starting to look at the inventory to make sure we have enough food to get to 1 o'clock, but also what are we going to do with the food that's going to be excessive? Are we going to freeze it? Are we going to transfer it out of the inventory of the food truck and make it a part of our meals at home? Is there somebody that we want to give some food to? Because we do and have given food away before. So we're looking at what can we do with what we got on inventory. And then we're starting to talk about what do we need to order from Sysco and Sam's and all the other places that we buy from for the coming week. What do we need to replace that we've sold? And we talk about that pretty much every day. So as we're getting into that last little bit on Sundays, and we do have that little rush that always happens right before 1 o'clock. It becomes very annoying to us because we've gone, in some cases, a full hour with nothing. But we know that there's going to be somebody show up about 12:30, 12:45. So we get lulled to sleep. We're taking care of the Facebook group. We're doing the things that we need to do on a personal basis, waiting for someone to show up. We've got the trailer will be all the way cleaned up. We'll sweep the floor. We'll have got the trash ready. All we need to do is put the last few bits in it, pull it out, and it's done. And we will have cleaned what we can clean. Now, what I do on Sundays, because I know I've got these lulls, is I do some deep cleaning. I mentioned that we have an oven that we cook the sausage, the bacon, and the biscuits in. I mentioned that the bacon splatters. So I'm pulling that oven apart once we come out of breakfast because we don't need it for lunch. I'm pulling that oven apart and I'm soaking the racks and I'm soaking the pieces that I can in a degreaser so I can get them back to silver. And then I'm using Easy Off oven cleaner and cleaning the inside of the oven to get all the splatters on the walls and the floor and the ceiling of that oven, as well as the doors. It has glass doors and I want them to be spotless. So I'm deep cleaning that piece of equipment while the racks are soaking. We have a holding unit I told you about where we're putting the gravy, the sausage, and the biscuits in. I'm pulling all the racks out of it and doing the same thing. It typically does not get really dirty, but I just go ahead and pull all the racks out and just make it spick and span clean. And then I use a Windex to make it shiny. I don't put any kind of Sheila Shine, all that nonsense on stainless because you got to peel it back off the next day. I don't want something on there that I've got to worry about sanitizing the next day. So I just use Windex. Windex evaporates and it leaves your stainless really pretty and doesn't leave any kind of a shiny, greasy, oily substance on it, because what those substances do is they collect dust, which forces you to have to clean the whole thing because it's got some type of petroleum-based shiny stuff on it. So I haven't done Sheila Shine or any of these stainless polishes since the 80s. There's just no point because you're going to have to sanitize the whole thing anyway the next morning. So why waste the labor to shine it when no one's seen it because you're closed? And then the next morning you got to go back over it with sanitizer to clean off what you applied the next night. So you are doing double work. Just clean the thing, make it look good, or the next morning to sanitize it and go. Don't polish it. There's just no need to. Polishing it is making you feel good, doesn't make anybody else feel good. So as I'm deep cleaning those different pieces of equipment, I'm looking at what else needs to be done. Usually every Sunday I'm pulling down the vents for the air conditioner and cleaning them. I'm cleaning the filters as well as the actual vent covers. I'm cleaning the ceiling because we throw out enough stuff from the air conditioner where there's little bits of dust. So I go ahead and clean that. I clean the light fixtures and get them all cleaned up. So I'm doing deep cleaning. Sunday is relatively low volume. Between the 4 days that we're open, it's going to be the slowest, but it can also be challenging because when we do get busy, everybody comes at once. So you're super busy, then you're dead for an hour. Then you're super busy and you're dead for an hour. So I make good use of the times when we are dead. Then at the end of the day, like I said, we go out, pull down the flags that indicates we're closed, close the window, lock it up, change the outside trash, put in a new trash bag, wipe down everything again that's outside. We do that every single day. When I open, I wipe down everything. But when we close, I wipe it down one more time because we're not going to be there. I take the 2 flags that I have up, the 2 feather flags, I roll them up and I put them on the bench that we have so that way they're not laying on the ground. The RV park is completely enclosed. It's completely fenced in. It is very secure, so I don't feel bad about leaving the stuff out. The food truck is within sight of our RV, so I can just look out and see if stuff's still there or not. There's security cameras everywhere, so if somebody was to walk by and pick up one of the flags, they're going to be on a security camera. So I don't mind leaving that stuff out. We do a little bit of prep work as far as getting ourselves or looking at the food that we can go ahead and freeze in the store until the next Thursday when we're going to reopen. And then we're doing inventory. What do we need to buy? Do we need hamburger meat? Do we need the pork? Do we need other things from Sysco or Sam's or Paradise Paper or the Miracle Strip popcorn and concession? So we're kind of planning out our next week as we're ending our first week. Once we do get closed, one thing I haven't told you guys about is we throw in the back of our pickup truck all of our trash and all the boxes that we may have broken down throughout the day. And we're taking them to the dumpster, and then we head home. As soon as we get home, I'm doing the paperwork. I do this every single day. I haven't mentioned that. On Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm doing the daily paperwork. Sometimes Melissa counts the drawer, sometimes I count it. But I sit down at the computer and see what the sales reports are from the POS system. And then I do the reconciliation of the cash drawer, looking at what we ran through on the Square reports as far as credit cards, and compare that to the cash count and make sure that we have all the money we're supposed to have. There are a handful of things that I track, one of them being sales, one of them being sales tax. I also track the discounts. We ring up every single thing that we eat, as well as any discounts we get to the park workers. All of those things we track. So every iced coffee that I drink, every sausage biscuit that I eat is getting rung up and then coupon back off. So I have a running total of our discounts. Then I'm also keeping track of our credit card sales, our breakfast sales. I want to know how much we do at breakfast, how much we did at lunch, and of course keeping track of the tips that we get so that I can make sure that we're paying the appropriate taxes on those items. I track all of that we look at our inventory, and I look at compared to what we said we sold to what we did and figure out where we're off. I do a yield on the ham, the pepperoni, the salami, the pulled pork, and the hamburger meat. We buy a certain amount of those particular products. We're doing an inventory to see what we got left, and does that match up with what we sold. So on tacos, for instance, the only place we're using hamburger meat's on tacos. So if we're buying 8 pounds of taco meat and I've got 2 pounds left over, that means I sold 6 pounds. How does that stack up to the number of tacos that I sold? Does the portioning make sense? And if it doesn't make sense, then Melissa and I are trying to figure out what we did, because it's just her and I doing it. So if we are running short of taco meat, okay, when did we overportion? Did we guess on a couple? Did we not weigh them out? What went wrong? Did the hamburger meat have more fat in it? Did we buy a 70-30 rather than an 80-20? If you buy 70-30, you're going to lose a lot more weight to the fat. So we're looking at what we did. The ham, the turkey, the salami, the pepperoni, and the roast beef. All of those we slice, and we do those yields to see if we're getting what we expect. The roast beef, I expect about a 94% yield. Most times I hit that. On the ham, I expect a 97% yield. We hit that every time. We have not missed that yet. The salami and pepperoni, I want 98%. We're hitting that every single time. The turkey is the one that, because of the nature of turkey and how it fractures, sometimes we get our 98% yield, sometimes we do not. And it's very annoying when we don't get it. But that's just the nature of that particular meat product. But we know where we stand. We look at those yields. So that is something I do every Sunday. And I do it at a leisurely pace. If I'm home by 1:30, I'm usually done with all the paperwork by about 3. I could do it significantly faster. But when I'm at home, I got the cat messing with me. I got Melissa or my son's coming in. So I'm being interrupted. If I was in a work environment, I would have all the paperwork done probably in 45 minutes or less. There's just not that much. There's not that much food on a food truck. I used to do a full inventory at Burger King, plus the P&L for the Burger King. I could do it in 45 minutes consistently, as long as people left me alone. Same thing with Quiznos and Solotchkis. I would be so fast with the inventory and be pretty darn accurate that my partners were like, well, how could you be done that fast? Well, there ain't that much stuff to count. That's the goal. You want to have as low an inventory as possible and still not run out of anything. And I've gotten really good at that over the years. And you will too if you make yourself do it. So the last thing that we do for our week before we transition into the new week is Melissa and I again talk about what do we need to order? When do we need to go to Cisco? Is it going to be a Wednesday trip or can we not do it this week? When we go into Sam's Club, is it going to be a Monday or Tuesday thing? Do we need to go to both of them? Because that's happened a couple of times. We've been much busier than we thought. We don't have enough food to get through a full week. So we've had to go to both Cisco and Sam's Club. And remember, they're in 2 different directions. So that's a pain. So that takes 2 days for us to do those things. Then I've also got to look at my personal schedule. What does Monday look like? How prepared do I need to be? Do I have time to work on any presentations on giving? And to see what's going on with the more better performance business part where we do all the coaching. So I'm juggling things just like you do. The benefit to me is we are all work at home. So if I don't want to work on something, I don't have to. The only commitment I've got is we got to have food ready to go Thursday because we've made that commitment to other people. The podcast has a commitment. I'm being sponsored right now, so I've committed to a certain number of podcasts being done. We work to teach you guys what you're doing so that you can make money too. Again, my break-even point is $149 and some pennies. I think it's 83 cents. It's not that big of a nut to crack, as one person was telling me yesterday. It's just not. 3 people an hour is all we need and we're good to go. We've had the $140 coming out of breakfast, or the $149 coming out of breakfast. We've done that many times. Now, we have had the other side where we've spent the whole day and done $56. I believe that is our lowest day yet. So we have those days. This week coming up, it's raining as I'm recording this, so we might have an issue with not being very busy this weekend, but it does happen. It's how you bounce back from it is what really matters and sets you apart from all the other people. So there I've given you what we do on all 7 days. We do have a social life, a little bit of a social life. We're older, so we don't have to go out and party and dance and do all that kind of stuff. We did when we were younger, and we had a really good time with it. But we, again, juggled work and social life. You can do the exact same thing. We got children. We got to be able to handle the little things that come up, the little crises that come up, the little wrenches that get thrown into the works. Those all have to be handled. Every single person has that kind of stuff happen. It's not all on you. All the bad things in the world don't just happen to you. They happen to all of us. What matters is how do you handle it? How do you react to it? I got a smile on my face every day when I go to work. I like going to the food truck. I like people that are there 10 minutes before I open. And the ones that are, hey, Bill, y'all open yet? I like the people that come 15, 20 minutes after we're closed. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize y'all closed at 1, even though there's signs everywhere and the flags are not up. But yeah, I'll take your order. I like money. So I will feed you because I like money. And that's what we tell ourselves every time we get those annoying orders that they're complicated. They want a little bit of breakfast and a little bit of lunch. Listen, I just go, we like money. And that's our motivation to get through the day. When we have those issues where, oh crap, it's going to be a really late night because we got stuff we got to do that has nothing to do with the food truck. Last night, I was up till 2 a.m. doing things that I've got to get done beyond recording all this stuff, beyond the food truck that we're going to get ready to open again on Thursday. There's things that I got to get done so that I've got cash flow coming in from the other things that I do, the coaching business, the books, and all the other things I do. It had to be done, so I was up, and I got up this morning at 7 o'clock. And what I've been doing since 7 o'clock is recording. So there you have the week that Melissa and I do. You guys can do it too. It just takes a little bit of planning, a little bit of organizing, and then staying focused on doing what needs to be done for not only your food and your food business, but your personal life, your children, your social life. It can all be handled. We all got the exact same amount of time every single week. It's just how you choose to use it. Thank you so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because you know I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.